I'm going with some dramatic lighting for this one, mainly because I'm just too lazy to set up the studio. And it's not about lighting, it's about sound. So this is all about sound. The mic I'm recording with right now is the Rode smartLav, and I'll just cut to the ending right now, give the summary, because that's what people want first. All I ask, I'm not going to beg, I'll beg a little, is that people subscribe, so it encourages me to develop more. Then again, you're probably thinking, I don't want more, I want less. How do I get less? Unsubscribe, I guess. Anyway, to make a short story long, so the lav mic, I think, is the one I would go to first, the smartLav, because number one, no battery. One thing I really hate, especially on the Boya had a nice long cord, like, I don't know, like 20 feet or something, which is kind of cool, except for the Boya, number one, the battery. It always has to be plugged in, plugged out. And number two, needs an adapter to go into the iPhone. Now, I could go straight into the camera, but I'm not going into the camera anymore, and we'll get to that. But I would say because of the adapter, because of the battery, I wouldn't use the Boya anymore. And there's no reason for the long cord because it's not going into the camera. So I'd rather have the freedom of movement act, because going into the phone, it's in my pocket, I can be anywhere and run around. The second one I would go to, I think, is the Takstar. Can I get that one over here? The Takstar. It's sort of like your Rode shotgun, but much cheaper, and I think it works just fine. In fact, I think the sound is pretty good. Listening to all three sounds, which you'll get to at the end of the video, the first one would be the Takstar, and then the Boya, and then smartLav. I would say that they're all pretty close. I really couldn't tell much of a difference. I'm sure if I used special tools, I probably could, but I couldn't. They're all kind of soft, so I did have to amplify the gain just a little bit on all of them. And this one does a pretty good job, but again, to use it on the iPhone, you have to actually have this adapter. I bought this just for this occasion because I realized the sound. I discovered early on that I was getting kind of a reverb, kind of the whole studio, like I wasn't using a mic at all. And turns out I wasn't, because when I was going into the iPhone, I didn't have the right converter, TRS to TRRS or something like that, whatever it is. So the converter and battery just makes this kind of useless. The Tax, I would still keep the Takstar around, and the Tac is kind of probably good for like multiple people. It does a fine job. So it's a nice mic. It's just with the lapel mic, I'm not really like tethered anywhere. I could do far shots, close shots. So, that's what I like. And the final takeaway, I think, to consider is just the camera. The Canon 77D is what I'm using. The sound is just terrible. I mean, it's not so much the sound itself, it's got all this background humming and this noise, and it's just, you can't use it. If you try and turn up the gain on the camera, it's like they put some work into it, then you get a lot of humming and buzzing, so it's useless. And then you put the filters on, and then the voice sounds all tinny, and again, it's a camera. I mean, it's meant to take photos, and I guess secondly, maybe video, and then thirdly, sound, but it just doesn't do a great job. It would have been nice. I mean, it would have been really cool if at least the plug-in mic could have done. The plug-in mic, I think, does a worse job than actually the on-body mic, so that was disappointing to really find out, but I had to know, and this is really the way to go. The syncing isn't that bad. Just make sure you do a clap or something to make it easier for yourself, and yeah, just get into Premiere and sync those puppies up. But yeah, the iPhone works well, and I don't even use a special program. I just use the one that comes stock on the iPhone. So I can get to another level of sound, I'm sure, if I bought dedicated sound recorders, but now from what I'm doing, I don't really need it. I mean, maybe someday. Enough subscribers, I'll keep investing in better equipment for now. Okay, so the rest of the video, again, is all about the tests. It's not very exciting, and the graphics aren't great, but I just kind of, it's just for me to kind of, if I forget, it's like, oh, which one should I use in the future? Well, I can go back to it, but I think at this point, yeah, other reviews have kind of said, well, the smartLav, it's not all that, but I think it's fine, and it's not that expensive, so I think it's a worthwhile investment, especially because you don't need the mic, and you can plug it straight into your smartphone, so those two things are probably what made me decide to just go with this as my first mic. Takstar microphone with the boost, and let's see what we got with no talking. Testing the Takstar microphone with the boost, and let's see what we got with no talking. Okay, this is the Boya lapel microphone. Okay, this is the Boya lapel microphone. Okay, this is the Boya lapel microphone, and barely any lighting, so we'll see how things go from that aspect. Okay, this is the test of the Boya microphone with the automatic sound gain on the Canon. Okay, this is the test of the Boya microphone with the automatic sound gain on the Canon, and we'll say low lighting. Alright, this is a test of the Boya lapel mic and manual setting to get to 12 and pretty low lighting. So we'll see how the noise is, how I sound, and how it sounds when it's quiet, or supposed to be quiet. Alright, this is a test of the Boya lapel mic and manual setting to get to 12 and pretty low lighting. So we'll see how the noise is, how I sound, and how it sounds when it's quiet, or supposed to be quiet. Okay, this is a test with all lights on. I am talking into the Canon mic. It's a manual setting, and it would be on to get it manually to get it to 12. Let's hear the background noise, and this is full lighting, of course, as you can see. Okay, a little crowded. I am currently using the Boya lapel mic, and I've got the manual gain turned down to like the first tick, so 25%, I guess. All right, this is a test of the Boya. Ignore that. The Boya microphone, lapel mic, and I did go ahead and turn the gain on the Canon body up to about the second tick or the halfway mark to get me to the 12s. So if I talk at a good volume, I hit 12, but is there too much background noise to actually make it work? That's what we're going to find out next. All right, we are recording and using the Takstar boom microphone, which could be mounted on the camera, but I figure if it's close enough to be able to, if it's in a good range, I might as well use the cord. So, well, I guess it would use the cord either way. Anyway, I like it right here. Either way, I guess it's plugged in. So either way, using the camera to do the recording and just kind of seeing how well this one does. Got the gain going there so the sound can hopefully be lower on the camera. And it's just so nice not having anything wired to me. I guess that is kind of a nice thing too. It's just total freedom. I can run anywhere and not worry about knocking the camera over. That's kind of fun. All right, silence now so we can actually hear nothing. Well, hopefully. Knocking the camera over. That's kind of fun. All right, silence now so we can actually hear nothing. Well, hopefully. Okay, that last one made quite a bit of noise, background noise, or static. And I think the reason was when you set the sound levels manually, you have to actually have set OK afterwards. Because I usually set the levels and I go in and I just go straight to recording. I hit the recording button twice, because one changes recording mode, second one actually starts recording, which I've forgotten that a lot. There's so much to learn. Anyway, the point is the last one was set too hot. It was probably at the halfway point, which is way too high. This one now, for sure, is at the first tick, which is the quarter-way mark, I suppose. I don't even know why they have the rest of it, because as soon as you get past that, there's so much background noise that it just makes the video, or at least the audio part of the movie recording, unusable. So this is hopefully usable. I'm talking at a pretty good voice, and I'd say so far this is the only way to go. The lapel mic to the camera just is no reason to use it. So far, I haven't watched the footage, but I will. This will be the third time I've been using this Takstar mic to record, because the first two times I didn't have the volume or the microphone clicked on. I guess that's one of the things about these external microphones when they have buttons or on-off buttons. You have to make sure there's a battery in it. The battery is charged or got juice in it, and the mic is actually on. So a lot of extra things to consider. You're not tethered in a way, at least, but anyway, the whole point was sound quality. So we'll talk for a few seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what else could I say? I don't know, last few seconds of silence, have a moment of silence to hear if it just get completely silent. Do I ever get completely silent? Okay, all right, that's the Takstar going into a phone, and I guess what I could do, even though it's at the end, I'll clap at the end. Didn't even think about that. yeah, because I didn't get my sound sync slated at the beginning, but hey, you could actually do it at the end, and then the beginning will be lined up too. So yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's smart. Hey, I'm smart. Now I can turn it off. Okay, it seems like it's working. This is the Boya microphone, and going straight into the iPhone. And before I found it wasn't working because I didn't have a special connector. TSR to T. No, is it TSR? TRS. Tip, ring, sleeve. Yeah, TRRS, something like that. Anyway, not important. But it did turn out you do need that to use this microphone with the iPhone. Stuff you find out later. But I do see the graph, or the kind of the sound levels activating, so I assume it's working. Is it better than the lavalier or the Rode one? I don't know. We'll find out. I'll try and do my best to evaluate it. Otherwise, if not, then I might as well just throw this one away. Ooh, wow, that was a sharp one. Okay, now this one is a course. Well, why would it be a course? There's no of course. It is the Rode smartLav Plus, the specially designed microphone for this kind of stuff. It's going right into an iPhone 6, and hopefully it's got good sound. Yeah, so I can't really tell. The cord is actually a pretty good range cord. I'm actually not setting out to review this directly, but I'm here. So we have the background noise also being recorded on the Canon directly. Maybe I'll compare the two. But I'm hoping we don't have the kind of, I don't know, that reverb, because this one doesn't have it at all. And maybe because it is more directional, it wasn't giving me any of that kind of studio acoustic reverb. I guess that's the word for it. This isn't my expertise, but yeah, I'm just hoping that the smartLav is the best one, because this is the most convenient, and they are good to do if you're like, I don't know, long distance away. If you're like want to be way far away from the camera and do some artistic shots or something like that, or I don't know, any sort of. Gosh, I'm trying to think of things to say. Okay, let's try some silence for a second, and let's compare the levels, and then I think we're done. I think I got everything. Then we can go review and then give my final thoughts.